It does not arrive loudly. There is no collapse, no dramatic moment. It shows up quietly, in a sigh that lasts too long, in patience that feels heavy, in a smile that works even when the heart feels tired. You are over 50 now. People think you are fine. You survived. You built a life. You raised children or supported others. You held jobs. You stayed responsible. From the outside, it looks complete, but something inside still aches. Not sharply, not all the time. Just enough to follow you. Just enough to shape your choices. Just enough to remind you that something was never resolved. This is the psychology of people who still carry childhood pain into later life. And many do, more than anyone admits. As a child, you learned early, maybe too early. You learned that safety was fragile, that love could disappear, that attention had to be earned, that silence was safer than honesty. So you adapted. Children always adapt. They do not blame the environment. They become what the environment needs. Some became invisible. Some became achievers. Some became helpers. Some became strong. Some became quiet. Some became funny. All became careful, and that careful child grew older. But the nervous system never forgot. At 50 plus, the body remembers what the mind minimized. You may not recall details, but you feel the tension, the tight chest, the shallow rest, the constant alertness. Psychology calls this developmental trauma. Not from one event, but from long exposure to emotional instability, neglect, unpredictability, fear, pressure to mature too soon. When a child has no room to feel, the feelings do not disappear. They wait, and decades later, they surface as patterns. You may notice you overfunction. You handle everything. You rarely ask for help. You feel uneasy when others take care of you. You may notice rest feels uncomfortable. Silence feels unsafe. Productivity feels like protection. You may notice relationships feel draining. You give more than you receive. You listen deeply. You rarely feel deeply seen. You may notice anger that surprises you. It leaks out sideways. At small inconveniences. At people who need too much. At yourself. This anger is not new. It is old. It is stored. It belongs to moments when you could not protest. When saying no was dangerous. When expressing need meant rejection, so you swallowed it, and the body kept score. At 50 plus, people often wonder, why now? Why does it hurt more now? Because survival mode has an expiration date. 4 years adrenaline carried you. Responsibility distracted you. Caring for others kept you moving. Then the roles soften. The children grow. The pace slows. The noise fades. And what remains is you. This is often when grief appears. Not grief for what happened, but grief for what never did. The comfort you never received, the protection you never felt, the ease you never knew. This grief can feel confusing. You might think you are weak, ungrateful, broken. You are not. You are finally safe enough to feel. Psychologically, this is called delayed processing. The mind waits until the nervous system senses enough stability. Only then does it open the archive. People at this stage often say, I should be over this. It was so long ago. Trauma does not follow calendars. It follows safety. If you were busy surviving, there was no time to heal. Now there is space. And space invites truth. You may also notice identity confusion. Who am I without being needed? Who am I without fixing? Who am I without holding everything together? For decades, your worth may have been tied to usefulness. That belief was learned early. As a child, you learned, if I am helpful, I am safe. If I am strong, I am loved. If I cause no trouble, I belong. Those beliefs age with you. At 50 plus, the cost becomes clearer. Exhaustion, resentment, loneliness, even in company. Psychology shows that unmet childhood needs do not disappear. They shape attachment. You may lean toward emotional self-reliance or emotional over-involvement, or both at different times. You may struggle with boundaries because boundaries once meant abandonment. You may struggle with vulnerability because vulnerability once meant danger. These are not flaws. They are adaptations. And adaptations can be updated. Healing at this stage is not about reliving everything. It is about listening differently. Instead of asking, what is wrong with me? Ask what happened to me. Instead of judging reactions, notice their age. That sharp fear when someone pulls away. That urge to explain too much. That discomfort when you rest. Those reactions are younger than your years. They belong to a time when you had little power. One of the most important psychological shifts is this. You are no longer that child. Your body may not know it yet, but you do. Healing begins when you speak to yourself with firmness and care. When you stop forcing yourself to endure. When you allow needs to exist without shame. This does not mean becoming fragile. It means becoming integrated. People who heal later in life often report something unexpected. Joy feels new. Play feels unfamiliar. Softness feels strange. Because those states were never rehearsed. So they must be learned now. Slowly, gently, without pressure. Psychology emphasizes nervous system regulation, not just insight. Talking helps, but safety heals. This may look like simpler days. More rest, less explanation, choosing peace over proving. It may mean disappointing others, which can feel terrifying at first. But every boundary you hold tells the younger part of you, I will not abandon you now. At 50 plus, healing is not about becoming young again. It is about becoming whole for the first time. You stop chasing approval. You stop overgiving. You stop shrinking to maintain harmony. Not because you are hard, but because you are finally kind to yourself. There may be sadness. There may be anger. There may be days when you feel small. This is not regression. This is integration. Psychology calls this reparenting. The adult self provides what was missing: reassurance, consistency, protection, permission to rest. You learn to speak internally in a new tone. You are safe now. You do not have to earn rest. Your needs are not a threat. Over time, the nervous system learns. The body softens. The mind quiets. The present feels less urgent. You begin to live rather than manage life. And perhaps the most powerful shift happens quietly. You stop seeing your childhood pain as a life sentence and start seeing it as a story that shaped you, but does not own you. You did not fail to heal earlier. You survived until healing was possible. That matters. If you are over 50 and something inside still hurts, it does not mean you wasted time. It means you lasted long enough to tell the truth. And now you get to choose something different. Not perfection, not constant happiness, but presence. You get to feel your life now, not just endure it. The child who adapted did an incredible job. They kept you alive. They deserve gratitude, but they no longer need to lead. You are here now, and you are allowed to live with less armor. Healing later in life is not a loss. It is a return to yourself.